The original goal of the Buckeye ISA program was to teach families with children here in the economically challenged neighborhoods of Central Ohio how to grow their own food, with a secondary goal that if they wanted to, once they learned how to grow, that there would be an aggregate of that produce that then we could sell back to the Ohio State University. So when we talk about the Buckeye ISA, the ISA is institutional supported agriculture. We have a number of places that growers can sell, but it can be difficult and it's a little fragmented and there's really no guidance, especially for a new grower. And so for the university to step up to the plate and say, I'm going to buy Buckeye ISA locally grown produce and sell it into a dining hall, that was a bit of a game changer for us on what we could do. The educational program had to start from scratch, and I had a background as a teacher in Extension, but there was no curriculum at this point. That service present. And so when I came into the Buckeye ISA, I went to the community liaisons and said, you know, you are going to be the most important people here, right? Because you're the ones in the community. These are your neighbors. This is your neighborhood. I want to be respectful of that. I need to be a guest in here. So let me know what we want to teach them. And so everything was needs assessment driven. We would sit down with the community liaisons and the families and say, you know, what's your skill level? Have you grown before? Are you a community gardener? Do you have any experience whatsoever? Do you have any materials that you would use? And the overwhelming sentiment that we got was we were going to have a bunch of complete beginners that wanted to learn how to grow their own food.
We did have Tim teach quite a few classes. My first year of doing the ISA program, I focused a lot on education. And I think people gain confidence when they participated in classes. They learned things that would have been maybe difficult to learn from the internet because they were able to get feedback and ask their specific questions.
There was a lot of topics that we needed to cover to get a beginner gardener to at least intermediate. And we're talking about garden planting in the spring, we're talking about seed starting, transplanting, container gardening, integrated pest management, tomatoes 101, composting, pollinators, how to use season extension. Pretty much everything from soup to nuts, spring all the way again to spring. So one of the things that I tried to do to make sure that I was inclusive and tried to mitigate the barriers that a lot of these families would encounter, I didn't bring them to my facility on campus to teach. I went out into the neighborhoods and taught. I did libraries, school gardens, backyards, community gardens, and I would do the same class 3 times in a week, and that way everybody had an opportunity to attend, and most people really didn't have to drive very far. Plus I told them, bring your kids, we're going to be gardening, it's going to be fun.
Having the experience with our children as a homeschool project and just learning about good food and nutrition as a whole anyway was very important to us. So it was a blessing to be a part of the program and have this opportunity.
It was fun to have the kids get involved as well, for them to learn and grow off of that. That made a big difference, and that gave us more to add on to, you know, the learning and all the wonderful insects that it brings into the garden. So that was a nice experience, actually.